We arrived in Whitefish and met our hiking group at the Grouse Mountain Inn. From the hotel, we took a van for our first hike in Glacier National Park to Avalanche Lake. The hike to the lake begins on a raised boardwalk at the Trail of the Cedars. It continues on for about 5 miles through a forest of ancient western hemlocks and red cedars. The humidity in the valley allows the cedars to grow to heights of 100 feet and diameters of 4 to 7 feet. Some of the trees in this area are more than 500 years old. Avalanche Lake was formed by a glacier moving down the valley and grinding away the rock, resulting in a characteristic U shape. Today the lake is fed from melting ice and snow from Sparry Glacier. The lake is hemmed in on all sides, except at the outlet, by high mountains and the forests that come down to the water's edge. At the upper end of the lake is an open space of a mile or so, kept free from timber by avalanches falling from the heights above. The glacial melt creates several waterfalls at this end. Stretches of dense brush extend to the foot of the cliff and part of the way up the sides. Our guide noted that several years ago there was a large avalanche that went down one side of the valley, skidded across the frozen lake and up the opposite side. Our next hike started at Logan Pass. The pass is located along the Continental Divide in Glacier National Park. It is named after Major William R. Logan, the first superintendent of the park. The Logan Pass Visitor Center is a popular starting point for hiking and backpacking trails. We hiked the Highline Trail, which heads north along the west side of the Continental Divide, through an area known as the Garden Wall, named for wildflowers which grow there during the summer. The elevated trail has a sheer drop-off shortly after the trailhead with a rope to hang onto for balance. After the drop-off, the trail hugs the sides of mountains and meanders over spectacular passes. In addition to the views, there are marmots, mountain goats, and bighorn sheep. Our next hike was the Dillon Trail, located on Big Mountain in Whitefish in the Flathead National Forest. The trail is 3.8 miles from the base of ski resort to the mountain top and meanders through forests of fir, spruce and wildflowers. We snacked on ripe huckleberries along the side of the train and met a couple of people gathering them for sale. The Dillon Trail was dedicated to Dillon, a Forest Service, a renowned nature photographer, conservationist, and avid skier on the Big Mountain. Many Glacier Hotel is located in Glacier National Park on the shore of Swift Current Lake. Just across the lake is Grinnell Mountain in the shape of a pyramid. Each peak and cliff to one side of Grinnell has a partner in just the same position on the other side of the valley, forming a remarkable panorama. The Great Northern Railway built all of Glacier Park's hotels. Louis Hill, the Great Northern's president, chose the many Glacier Valley for the largest of the hotels. Great Northern bridge builders rigged the huge logs which serve as roof beams and lobby columns. A sawmill, erected near the hotel site, fashioned thousands of boards from trees which were cut down inside the park. Several hundred men were employed in construction from 1914 to 1917. The hotel did not do well in the beginning. A park forest fire in 1936 almost destroyed the hotel, but it was saved by the employees. They telegraphed Mr. Ellis the good news and he responded, "Why?" The next day, we left the hotel and hiked the Grinnell Lake Trail. The trail starts in a forest of firs and lodgepole pines and passes along the shore of a string of glacier-fed lakes, Swift Water, Josephine and Grinnell. The trail provides spectacular views of the lakes and surrounding peaks, including Grinnell Point. The ridge along the peaks are part of the Continental Divide. The other side of the divide, formed by Mount Grinnell, is part of the Garden Wall, which we hiked from Logan Pass 2 days earlier. From the upper elevations of the trail, we hiked through flowered alpine meadows, streams, steep rocky slopes and moose sightings. We did not reach the glacier as we turned back due to the wind gusts. Grinnell Glacier is named after George Bird Grinnell, who first visited the area in 1885 while he was the editor of Field and Stream. He explored the area and advocated for the establishment of Glacier National Park. Our final hike for this trip was to the Bullhead Lake along the Swift Current Pass Trail. The Swift Current Pass Trail begins at Many Glacier Road, right in front of the Swift Current Inn. The trail is divided up into two sections, the easy section and the climb section. The easy section of the trail runs for about 4 miles, up to Bullhead Lake, passing Fisher Cap Lake and Red Rock Lake along the way. Here the trail consists of very gradual rises followed by long periods of flat hiking. This part of the trail has beautiful views of Mount Wilbur, Grinnell Point, Mount Grinnell, the Continental Divide and Swift Current Mountain. The trail passes through a long stretch of aspens growing alongside the path and a forest canopy as it makes its way towards Bullhead Lake. We stopped at the lake to munch some huckleberries and take in the views of the surrounding mountains. Bears also like huckleberries, so we were armed with bear spray, but none were sighted. Due to the lakes, streams and an abundance of willows, the entire Swift Current Valley is an excellent habitat for moose. Our hike was interrupted for about 30 minutes to allow a moose to graze on the trail. The climb part of the Swift Current Pass Trail extends from the head of Bullhead Lake and begins a long climb up to the top of the Continental Divide, going over the divide at Swift Current Pass. We stopped at Swift Current Pass for lunch and enjoyed the commanding views of Mount Grinnell and Bullhead Lake. One final note. Our recent hikes in our national parks has shown us the value of our park system. The historic buildings, stunning hiking trails, wildlife, forests and plants provide space for quiet contemplation of the natural world and appreciation our place it. Our national interest requires that the park system be supported and the parks preserved.